Spencer Ross, One Step Forward. Hope you've been well. Focus. What are you focused on? All right. So this week, been working on some stuff. Found out there's some things going on, so I need to finish a project. All right. So what can help me finish that project? Well, I got glasses, right? They can help with focus. Do I need glasses all the time? Maybe, maybe not. I need glasses to read some of the small print. Okay, so if I write really small or if I'm looking at a compass, maybe I need glasses. They can help me focus. All right, so how else can we use focus? So I've got notes. Or wait, I've got notes. What notes am I supposed to use? Well, these notes are for my presentation today, the presentation I'm doing right now. These notes are for the project that I'm doing online. If I do these notes that you're looking at now for the ones that I'm doing here or there, where am I going to be successful? Well, if I use these notes online, I'll be successful there. But if I use these notes for my presentation here, then I might miss something, right? Because these notes that I've written for this presentation now are for the presentation now. So we need to be timely. We need to be accurate. As a leader, are you focused on what you need to be doing right now? Okay, maybe you remembered something. So you take notes. You write a list. Can't see it because I'm using my phone for the video, but on my calendar, I make lots of notes. When I'm going to the grocery store, I will write down stuff. I'll go through the pantry. I'll go through the refrigerator. I'll go ask my roommate, hey, do you need anything? And then I'll send that to myself in a text message as a way of notes. There's lots of things you can use for notes. Maybe use an Excel spreadsheet. Maybe use a Word document. However you want to do it, there's different ways to use notes and note taking. When I was doing the presentation online, I needed to write down specific stuff to answer their specific questions. Okay, so I've got project summary, I've got an email for another project that I'm doing that I didn't want on this side because I didn't want to get distracted. That's for another project, and I've got goals, I got deliverables, and I got appendix. Okay, so I've broken up the notes into different sections. Well, this one, focus, we're all busy. How can we maximize our effort? How can we maximize our time? How can we get the most out of the time available, the budget available to get what we done, that we need to do done? If we're busy, we might get distracted because we might remember, oh, that's right, I need this email up here. Okay, well, I need to write it in a spot that I can easily remember it. And if I'm working on this big project online, then I'll see it a couple times and like, oh, that's right, that's for that. I need to finish that project. So I sent that email this morning. All right, cool. Project done. What was the project for? Does it matter? Sometimes it does. Sometimes the place, it matters. We are all busy. So if I'm in the grocery store and I remembered I didn't do something, do I need to call someone right then and there? Well, maybe I send them a text message. Maybe I send myself a text message to remind myself, hey, go talk to Bobby about something. So in focus, keep it simple. Who, what, when, where, why, how. And then possibly so what. Who? Spencer. What am I working on? It's hard to focus on something we don't know what we're working on. Sometimes we don't know what we're working on. The way is unclear. If I need to clean the garage, easy. What am I working on? Cleaning the garage. I need to clean the garage. First week of the month is cleaning the house weekend for me. Okay, cool. So I'm going to clean the house, and part of that, I'm going to clean up the garage. All right, cool. That's what I'm working on. If I'm getting a loan, I need to stick on getting the loan. There might be other things that are good with that, right? If I'm in an apartment and there was water damage from the apartment above, all right, so maybe I need to call the insurance today. Okay, but if I don't have a track, if I don't have a way to keep track of what I'm working on, can I lose focus? Yeah, because we're all busy. Things come up in life. There was a hurricane that turned into a tropical storm and hit Southern California last week or the week before. All right, so we got ready for the rain, right? Because we respond to things. We are flexible. We are responsive to things that happen. Maybe there's a fire. A friend of mine got in a car accident. Okay, so he responded to that. He had to call the insurance or he had to call a mechanic. Whatever he did, but he had to respond to it. That doesn't mean he throws everything away. Everything else he had planned for the day maybe got moved to the next day, or maybe he still needed to accomplish that. So he called the mechanic the following day and finished that one task today. But do we know what we're working on? Okay, if we're part of a team, who? Teammate Spencer is a part of a team. All right, who is taken care of? That's myself, right? Because I'm in charge of my own life. I'm responsible for my own goals. Who? Spencer. What am I working on? I'm a part of a team. We're going to install sod. All right. So I need to make sure I know what my task is. Do we know what our task is? Are we working on what we're focused on? Are we working on what we're thinking about? It's okay if things come up. Maybe we take a note. Maybe we stop our project. But having focus means we're working towards that project to be completed. Be consistent where you put stuff or how you do stuff. Build those organizational skills. If I put the mail in different spots around the house, am I going to be as effective and as efficient as I can be in accomplishing that mail? Whether that's responding to a letter, getting a check in the mail for a private business that I have. Is that going to pay a bill on time? Is that going to get a rebate that has a due date on time? Is that going to respond to the letter I got in the mail about the loan application that I got? Is that going to get me to pay my taxes on time? During COVID, I had a family member. She would put mail in the Monday box that came in on Monday. And then she'd put mail in the Tuesday box that got delivered on Tuesday. And then she put mail in the Wednesday box that got delivered on Wednesday. And then she put the mail in the Thursday box that got delivered on Thursday. And then she went and she took the mail from Monday, and then she read that mail and she responded to it that day because she knew it would be a little bit late. Some things are shorter time frames than others. But she had a compromised immune system, and that's what she needed to do to be effective for her. Who? Spencer. What? I am applying for a loan. Okay. Well, I can read all the stuff I want about fixing my credit. Cool. Is that the task I need to be doing? My credit's already good. I don't need to worry about that. Do I need to worry about how I'm spending? Well, I make $100,000 a year, so that's not something I need to worry about. Well, wait, but I'm spending $101,000 a year, so that's the videos, that's the books I need to read, that's the mentorship I need to get. If I'm trying to save for starting a business or putting in a pool or painting a house, am I focused on that task in the relevant areas that I need to be focused on? If my credit score is good, then I don't need to worry about that so much. Maybe I read something about that every once in a while, but am I focused on what I need to do? If I'm scattered, if I don't have things in an organized way, I could miss steps. Okay? So when I was taking these notes, I put one section up here, and then I did another section here of reducing distractions, then I put another one up here, and I left some space. Why? Well, if I remembered something in reducing distractions, I wanted space to be able to work on that. I didn't want to have to come down. I could draw an arrow, and that's okay, but maybe that would take some time. Maybe that wouldn't be as fluid and as easy as just making some space so I had some room to maneuver. Organization. That's the way I wanted to organize it, and that's what worked for me. I've taken input from other people. I've seen what works best for me, and that's what I have adjusted. Same over here. I've got this section, I've got this section, I've got this space, I've got this space, and I've got this section here, and I've got more space, and now I'm running out of room. So maybe I start filling in, working up. I don't know. Maybe I get another page. Maybe I don't take notes on this side, and I leave that for my project that I'm doing online. But I'm organized. I'm organized in a way that makes me most efficient. Why? Because we're all busy. Even if you're not busy today, could you be busy tomorrow? And if you say no, wow, you can predict the future. Can we go get a lottery ticket together? No one can truly predict the future. I don't like when people say I don't assume about anything. Well, I assume the sun's going to come up. I assume my brother's going to call me this week. He can assume that I'm going to call him this week if he doesn't call me. I'm going to assume that there's going to be a bug in the garage, right? There's going to be things that come up that we cannot predict. There's a rainstorm that's going to drop 2 inches of rain. All right. What if it didn't? Did I do all that prep for nothing? I'd rather be prepared. I'd rather be organized. I'd rather be focused on that so that there's no damage on my house. Because I want to reduce distractions. Okay, let's say I've got a sneeze. All right, am I going to let that sneeze throw me off of everything? Let's say I'm in front of the TV or a video, and I'm doing a weather report. Okay, and I got a sneeze. Okay, sneeze, move on. Stay focused on what you're doing. Don't let those little distractions throw you off your game. If you're an athlete, can you play your game anytime, anywhere? Hopefully. Hopefully you're at that level. And it takes some time of being thrown off and not being comfortable and going through the motions, right? You don't instantly become comfortable in every arena. Hockey, okay. Well, maybe your skates broke and so you've got to borrow other skates. So now you're a little bit different. Maybe your feet hurt that day. Maybe you're a little bit sore. Maybe you've got to overcome that. And if you properly prepare yourself for that goal, then you can be the most effective that you can be. When I was growing up, my desk was off to the side that I did homework on. But there was this picture, something, that had a glass front. So I could hear the TV. I couldn't see it because I was facing the wall. But if I just looked up, I could see the TV. It was backwards, but I could still see it. So I'd sit and do my homework for hours, not doing my homework. I was watching the TV. All right, well, I was an immature little boy. Hopefully you start to grow, right? As a leader, we're trying to grow. Maybe our focus is just reducing those distractions so that we can grow as an adult, as a man or woman. All right, so now I put earplugs in. And when my roommate starts yelling, oh, okay, cool, yeah, they scored. All right. And then I go back to my thing. Or I could move rooms. Or I could go outside. But I'm reducing my distractions because I want to be focused. When I'm writing a report, I want to be focused on that report so it can be the best report I can be. When I'm doing these videos, am I being distracted about things that go on? Well, the other day there was a bunch of kids yelling outside. Okay, so I just took a quick look, and that's okay for me. That's acceptable in how I see doing videos. Maybe somebody doesn't want it. I've seen a video where the room was full of these foam things and it was sterile, and that's the way they wanted to do it. Okay, that's what they needed to be focused. If you are in charge of yourself, are you leading yourself in a way to be the most effective? If you're being a teammate, are you being the best teammate you can be and reducing maybe your boss's distractions? When I was at work, my boss was super good. We worked well together, but people would come up to him and say, hey, there's trash over there. And he would stop and he'd go get the trash. And I'd come back after he sent me to do something. I'd be like, where'd he go? And then I'd find him go picking up trash. Well, if he's the finished carpenter, do we want the finished carpenter picking up trash, or do we want him doing finished carpentry stuff? I am not the finished carpentry person. I can do rough carpentry, but the finished stuff, he was so amazing. He was so good at it. So I learned that if I saw someone entering the room, maybe I go quickly over there and like, hey, do you need anything? Oh, there's some trash over there. Oh, okay, cool. I've got it. So I'm going to go do the task that he sent me to do because that's what he wants me to do. I can do two things at once, right? I'm focused. I can plan my day. He wants me to do this task. It'll take 10 minutes, but I can stop, go get the trash real quick for a minute, wash my hands, go through the thing he wants me to do, and come back. And then help him again on what he's doing. So that the project is as cost effective as possible. Sometimes it's a time constraint. Sometimes it's a budget constraint. Sometimes it's just something, you know what? My wife wants me to do it. I'm going to be a good teammate for my spouse and I'm going to go do it. But I'm trying to reduce those distractions, whether for my teammate, team leader, or for myself. Am I distracting myself? Video games, TV, books. I knew a guy, he'd read the Bible for 8 hours a day. Great. Is that what he was paid to do? No. Did people give him a hard time because he was doing something other than what he was paid to do? Yes. That was a distraction. Some distractions are good. Some distractions are bad. Are we doing the correct task in the correct order? If we're doing them out of order, do we need to make a list to organize ourselves to reduce the distraction? At the school, people love mowing the lawn. It's an easy job. It's a fun job. That's not maybe the best job. Maybe we need to set up the cafeteria for a program. Okay, so how can we plan our week so that we can get the mowing done on time, the room set up for the presentation, and the trash picked up? Well, if tours are done right after lunch, let's pick up the trash right after lunch. Let's stop the mowing, pick up the trash, and then we can go back to the mowing. Let's have that discussion. Let's have that list. Let's have that organization. Let's reduce those distractions. Yeah, absolutely. People justify good things all the time. Are they the best timed things? I use lists and calendars. We talked about that. So my adopted grandfather, I would feel bad that I didn't call him. So then I wouldn't call him. And then I thought, oh man, it's been 3 months since I called him. I had breakfast with a guy today. I put it on my calendar. And so what I started to do, and I talked to him about this, is I started to put things on my calendar. So I call an aunt. So I was supposed to call her yesterday, but I was busy and it was Sunday. And I know she's busy on Sunday, but I call her on the 3rd. And what I did on my calendar is every 3rd, for the rest of time, I will call this person. I'm going to call her today because I'm flexible, right? And it's a day off. It's Labor Day here in America. Okay, so I decided, okay, I'm just going to push it one day. I still want to make that commitment. I still want to be focused on that task of staying up to date with my aunt. Well, with my grandfather, I went a year without calling him. I felt bad. So every 2 weeks, maybe let's say on the 1st, so I put a thing on my calendar. At 4 o'clock, every 1st of the month, I'm going to call him. And then I did another one 2 weeks later. So let's say on the 15th. So every 15th. So sometimes the day is going to change. But I look at my calendar in the morning like, oh, it's the 1st. I'm going to call my grandpa. Cool. That way it reduces me trying to remember everything. Life's too busy to remember it all. It's okay to make a list. Do you make a list to go to the grocery store? No? Oh, okay, cool. When I go to the grocery store, this is me. I want to go and buy everything because it looks great and I could cook and it doesn't all fit in the refrigerator. It's going to go bad before I cook it all. I don't have the budget to buy everything in the grocery store. I forgot that thing for my party. So we make lists to be the most effective that we can be, to be organized, to stay focused on that goal. Being focused is more than just a list. Sometimes it's planning, right? And making a list is part of that planning process. So on my calendar, it's all lit up. Almost every day has something on it. Cool. That's what works for me. What works for you? Maybe a list, maybe a different type of list, maybe a calendar. I have a buddy, he uses a paper calendar. All right, that's what he wants to use. And that's how he is effective so that he can be focused at that time to be successful at that goal. I've been made fun of for making a list. If I'm going to make a list to get everything done on budget at the grocery store, why can't I do that in life? This morning when I went walking, the bees were out and the hummingbirds were out. They were getting it done. Are you getting it done? Am I getting it done? They were up early because they were focused on feeding themselves and feeding their family. Are we focused on what we need to do, or are we distracted with what the world very nicely has us wanting to do? Because there are people who want us to be focused on them. Buy this. Do this. Okay, but I need to clean the house today. I need to organize the garage today. Am I focused on what I, the leader of the team of Spencer Ross, needs to do, or am I focused on something that's not right? Spencer Ross, one step forward. Have a great week.